Oprah Winfrey, once America's beloved talk show queen, is now a fugitive.
Doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time.
This is unbelievable. Stand up just a moment, because no one saw you come in standing up. Now, this is what I call a body.
You're so revealing. You just tell everything. Good. You gotta stop talking so much.
You won't hear about my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me.
Oprah Winfrey has been spotted in a video from 1998 inviting Hollywood stars to one of Diddy's infamous parties. Now, she appears in the video clip inviting guests to the star-studded bash, Diddy's 29th birthday, and she is joined by other well-known celebrities gushing over the star and his multi-million parties. Now, this is not a good look for Oprah. Now, Oprah has had many controversies throughout her life, but being involved with Diddy might be the final nail in the coffin when it comes to her career. She and Diddy have appeared together at numerous charity events, and Oprah has featured Diddy on her show, where they discuss not only his career but also his charitable efforts. Now, this appearance helped elevate Diddy's message about social responsibility and community engagement, which is kinda ironic if you think back to it now. Now, this isn't the first time Oprah has been linked to some horrible men in the entertainment industry that have ended up behind bars. I mean, it's starting to become a pattern. When she was asked about this, she said she tried to focus less on the crimes and the victims' stories and instead inside the bigger picture, which a lot of people had issues with. Her former friend Seal took to Instagram to call her out for her suspicious behavior. "You have been a part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you're the solution," Seal said. "Oh, I forgot, that's right, you heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually doing those things to young starry-eyed actresses. My bad," he said. Yikes. Now, it seems like Oprah definitely knew what was going on. What's strange is that Oprah has actually been a victim to the crimes Diddy has been accused of. You see, Oprah was born in Mississippi to a single teenage mother and grew up in extreme poverty. During her childhood, the cost of raising Oprah became too much for her mother to handle, so she was sent to live with her biological father. Since then, Oprah has come forward talking about how she had been mistreated and taken advantage of by her cousin, uncle, and a family friend. As a young teenager, and after suffering for years, she then ran away from home, and a year later she became pregnant. Now, she gave birth to a son, but he was premature and passed away only a few weeks later. Now, Oprah has used this story to show her strength and to inspire people, but it seems like she might have helped continue this cycle towards young girls. I mean, we have to talk about the whole sketchy situation about her all-girls school that she created. When the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007, Nelson Mandela, Tina Turner, Sidney Poitier, Spike Lee, and Oprah herself attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating the landmark boarding school founded with $40 million of Oprah's money. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny McGobo of mistreating them. She was then arrested in November 2007 and released on bail, and she faced 14 different charges. "It has shaken me to my core," Oprah said, of the returning to South Africa with a team of private detectives to investigate the allegations and personally speak with the girls. "This has been one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating, experiences of my life." Now, it seems like she and the organization did not look into who they were hiring and how the operation was running. I mean, this whole thing could have been avoided. Now, following the first trial, Oprah was sued by the headmistress of the South African girls' school for defamation. She alleged that Oprah defamed her by implying that she covered up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled outside of court before an arranged trial, according to CNN. Now, that's not all that happened here though, as speculation of numerous missing girls from the academy have spread like wildfire across social media. Now, could Oprah have been taking the girls? That's definitely a possibility. Not to mention, parents also came forward with complaints about the school. In March 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their children once a month, and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on weekends. One parent said, "It was a nightmare. We had only 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't a prison or an institution." Another mother said her homesick daughter was very upset over the rules. "Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her." Shockingly, the school is still up and running, which is crazy considering all the scandals that have happened there. Then there's her canceled documentary. Oprah apparently spent a fortune to make sure the docuseries created about her never sees the light of day after clashing with Oscar-winning filmmaker and director Kevin McDonald over the project. As the Apple TV Plus deal was coming to an end, Miss Winfrey bought back the rights to her docuseries and has since decided to put the doc on hold, a spokesperson for Oprah told Page 6. In addition, another source said Kevin made the film, but Oprah didn't like it and he refused to change it, and Oprah has paid back her fee to Apple. Internet users reacted to the news that the documentary was putting on hold, and they were not impressed. Many questioned if Oprah was worried that some damaging information was set to become public. Well, now isn't this sketchy? One person wrote in Page 6's comment section. Another individual asked, what is she afraid of or hiding? Similar takes showed up on Twitter, as one person wrote, what is Oprah hiding? While another tweeted, Oprah Winfrey shelled out a fortune to prevent a documentary release. Sounds legit, money talks, right? Not the truth. Yeah, I gotta say that this is pretty sketchy sounding. Then we know she's mistreated people in the past, whether it be celebrities, guests on her shows, or even her own stepmother. Yep, it was reported that she was accused of being heartless to her own stepmother after she was kicked out of the 5-bedroom South Nashville home she shared with Oprah's father for 14 years. Barbara Winfrey told Daily Mail that her life had been deliberately ruined by the talk show legend following a bitter divorce with Vernon Winfrey. Oprah's a billionaire 3 times over, her help to live better than this, Barbara pointed out, adding she said publicly that she offered to sell the house and give me the proceeds, but that's a lie. She never said that. Oprah owns property all over the world, so there's no reason to sell this house other than to spite me. It's a personal vendetta, she said. Now, legal papers claim that Oprah was involved in a conspiracy to separate her father and stepmother and essentially make the latter homeless. What she has done is nothing short of evil, but she doesn't scare me. Her actions cause me to disrespect her, Barbara said. Now, it seems like Oprah is always at the scene of the crime, and online users have been convinced about her downfall for years. One online user posted this on Reddit, and I honestly have to agree with it. They said, Oprah Winfrey is not a hero, nor should she be considered a role model. Successful? Sure. A good role model? Not really. She's nice, and she's certainly not an awful person, but she also consistently promotes individuals on her show who peddle pseudoscientific nonsense to a massive crowd of guests and television viewers, Dr. Oz being one of the most famous examples. The willingness to promote this type of content either means that the Oprah Winfrey Network is unwilling to do background research into these guests and their claims, or that they will promote whatever gets them the highest view count, making it rather low value and possibly harmful to pretty much anyone who watches the show. Why would anyone look up to someone who endorses science? Anyone who does even basic research into some of the so-called professionals that come on the show would realize they're spewing absolute nonsense. I don't know if this is unpopular or not, but I feel like a lot of people look up to her and think of her as both a pioneer and a good person. I don't see it. Lazy, unhinged, and disconnected from reality, or lazy and opportunistic. That's how I see her and her show. Now, other people responded to this post in agreement, saying, I noticed this about Oprah 20 years ago. Once you see her, you can't unsee her. She seems shallow, egotistical, self-absorbed, and all the rest of it. Another said, it wasn't until I was older and seen exactly what her show was about in the 80s and early 90s, and seen she capitalized off making a mockery of her trauma. No longer a role model, just another rich person who snubs their noses at anyone who's gone through life as she has. Makes me sick, actually. While a third person said that she was just straight up evil. So, does Oprah have anything to do with Diddy's crime ring? I honestly wouldn't put it past her.
Oprah isn't exactly known for being a nice person, but Cindy Crawford, Elizabeth Taylor, and even the Olsen twins had interactions with her that left a lot of people feeling kind of awkward watching them. So when Oprah interviewed Cindy Crawford and elite model management founder John Casablancas back in 1986, she had the model stand up so the audience could see her body. Well, when Cindy was reflecting on the encounter 37 years later on a show called The Supermodels, she was like, yeah, I was to be seen and not heard. And when you look at it through today's eyes, Oprah was saying, stand up and show me your body. Show us why you're worthy of being here. Now, in the moment, Cindy didn't really realize and she didn't recognize it. And watching it back, she was like, oh my gosh, that was so not okay, especially from Oprah. When you consider Oprah's history with body image and how much of her platform has revolved around it, yeah, really not okay. When Robin Williams and Nathan Lane did a joint interview to promote the Bird Birdcage back in 1996, Oprah brought up a lot of rumors about Nathan's sexuality, since he played an openly gay character in the film. Now at the time, he wasn't ready to discuss his sexuality publicly, so Robin thankfully quickly changed the topic by making it a joke. On a 2023 episode of Sunday Sit Down with Willie Geist, Nathan said, "I don't think Oprah was trying to out me." Alexa speaking, I think she was. But Nathan said to Robin beforehand, "I'm not prepared. I'm so scared of going out there and talking to Oprah. I'm not prepared to discuss that I'm gay on national television. I'm not ready." And Robin was like, "Oh, it's alright. Don't worry about it. We don't have to talk about it. We won't talk about it." And he mentioned how Robin swooped in and diverted Oprah and went off on a tangent and protected him because Robin was a saint. Loved Robin Williams. Never heard a bad thing about him. In 1988, Elizabeth Taylor playfully shut down Oprah's attempts to get her to address dating rumors, and Oprah teased her about her refusal to give a straight answer. Reflecting on the interview, which she called her worst years later, Oprah was like, "Oh yeah, it's painful to watch. For many reasons, including my bad hair." Oprah, it's hard to watch for other reasons, not just your bad hair. Now, she explained that before the interview, Elizabeth Taylor specifically asked Oprah to stay away from questions about her relationships. And then Oprah was like, "Well, it's kind of hard to do when you're Elizabeth Taylor. You've been married 7 times. To her credit, she later apologized to me. Yeah, in private probably. "I'm sorry, I think women should have as many relationships as they want, as many marriages as they want. Go nuts." In February of 1993, Oprah landed the first live televised talk with Michael Jackson in 14 years. She asked the unthinkable in an hour-long television special, which portrayed an eccentric but vulnerable star. To understand the enormous buzz that an interview with Michael Jackson generated in February of 1993, you gotta understand the context, folks. Since the mid-1980s, people speculated that Michael Jackson wanted to become white, that he had bought the Elephant Man's remains. He slept in an oxygen chamber. He married Elizabeth Taylor. He suffered from anorexia. His best friend was a monkey. The monkey was telepathic. And that he was a virgin. Never before had a celebrity provoked so much fascination or so many utterly bizarre headlines. Michael Jackson had never responded to anything, except through his songs. For instance, "Leave Me Alone," which one of my personal favorite songs, from his 1987 album Bad, was the first song in what became something of a subgenre for him. Michael taking media harassment and responding to it through his music. And that's how it went until February 10th of 1993, when, sitting across from Oprah Winfrey in an ABC Live special, he responded. According to Oprah, this conversation was unscripted, uncensored. After addressing how Michael felt going from an adorable prodigy and growing up through the industry, she laid the groundwork to address the singer's controversial physical appearance. And then after that, she was firing away. She was like, "Oh, is it true that you sleep in an oxygen chamber to stay eternally young? Did you buy the Elephant Man's remains?" She went through a litany of crazy headlines, all of which Michael Jackson was like, nope, absolutely not. They did talk about facial appearance and presentation as well. And in the most awkward part of the entire interview, Oprah took up the topic of the singer's love life. She said, "I'm gonna ask you something, and it's embarrassing for me, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Are you a virgin?" Michael sighed. He tried to laugh it off, and he replied, "How could you ask me that question?" Pretty much everything else she asked him that's controversial falls under the long list of topics I'm not allowed to talk about. But I can say they were extremely intrusive and personal, not to forget controversial. And it kind of just really shows Oprah's true colors. She wants the headlines. So let's talk about other members of the Jackson family for a moment. While Janet Jackson was okay with being interviewed by Oprah Winfrey after Michael's passing, she was horrified when her brother's immediate family was called on the show. She saw that as Oprah using his family as a means to boost her ratings. And there are reputable sources that have reported that there was an intense conversation between Janet and Oprah, one that created a lasting tension and hatred, and rightfully so. When you look at everything else we've talked about today, so far, to me it seems like Oprah really just does care about the ratings and being in the spotlight. On a 2021 episode of Literally with Rob Lowe, Oprah said she made a big mistake when she asked Sally Field, "Hey, does Burt Reynolds sleep with his toupee on?" Then the actor went cold, and Oprah was like, "Oh yeah, I even say now, like I cringe to even think why I asked that question, but I asked it because the producers are like, you have to ask, you have to ask, you have to ask. That's what everybody wants to know." Well, Sally shut down and Oprah could not get in again. Look, I don't know. I'm not an interviewer, but I think there's a lot more eloquent ways that topic could be broached if you need to ask it. Yes, I know Oprah is not known for her subtlety. I think we've established that by now. But still, time to go back in time to 2004 when Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were the biggest thing in media, and Oprah had them on her show because that's what you do. They had a media empire. At the time of the interview, rumors have been circulating that Mary-Kate was suffering from an eating disorder. And later that year, she did spend time in a rehab facility to receive treatment for a health-related issue. Good on her for for taking care of herself. But Oprah said, point blank, "Oh, I know there's a rumor that's recently surfaced that upsets you, right? You know, the one about eating." Which, also, the fact that it upsets you, maybe we shouldn't bring it up. And Ashley quickly jumped in to try and shield her sister, saying, "Yeah, you know, people are gonna write what they're gonna write. We try not to read the good or the bad because it just comes with the territory. Either you're too fat, too skinny, and people are just gonna write what they..." And she was interrupted by Oprah. She didn't give it a chance to finish it or try to distract. Oprah was like, "Well, what size are you, by the way?" And you could see both sisters looking extremely uncomfortable. And Ashley once again tries to deflect. She's like, "Size? Like, we're both petite." And it's fair, they were very. And then Oprah was like, "Oh, that's so interesting." She's like trying to joke it off, the fact that she interrupted and is just being very pushy. She's like, "I'm obsessed with size." And you're like, "I really don't know." And then Mary Kate pipes up because she knows that she's the one who needs to speak, sadly. And she's like, "You know, I really don't know. If we were obsessed with our size, it'd be like, I don't know, a different story." Like, take a hint, Oprah. Move on, find something else. Most recently, Toni Braxton took aim at Oprah, alleging that the TV titan was mean to her way back in 1998. Toni was having some financial problems, and Oprah was like, "We're gonna poke at this." She said that the chat on TV severely damaged her reputation because Oprah made some choice remarks about overspending, which was around the time when Braxton declared bankruptcy. So this all came to light in a taped interview for VH1. It was a behind the music special, and Toni said, "She was so freaking mean to me, I was in shock." And this is the funniest statement, folks. She said, "I hear you have Gucci flatware. I'm Oprah Winfrey and I don't have Gucci flatware." And Toni was like, "Well, you don't have Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it." And Braxton was like, "Yeah, she made me feel this big." Like, okay, great. You don't have it. I don't have it.
Oprah Winfrey has been connected to Diddy multiple times in the press recently, from being friends, going to parties together, and even being on her talk show together. Now recently, new footage was leaked from Diddy's parties, including Oprah in them. So, what's going on? Well, a source sent page 6 a VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to the mogul's 29th birthday party in 1998. It's a combination of celebrities inviting you to Diddy's birthday party. Starting off the video though is Oprah, which stands out a lot. Other celebrities seen in the tape include Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Magic Johnson, Will Smith, Ben Stiller, Joan Rivers, Steven Tyler, and Tommy Hilfiger. Now it begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito's lying on a sofa under a blanket and says, "That's right, Puff Daddy is having a party, and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." Then the group of celebs take turns reading from a script detailing the date and time, exactly how fabulous and expensive the party will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. They then say that the venue would be revealed later. Now that many people have seen this, they think the celebrities in the video were involved in Diddy's crime ring. They're all consulting their lawyers, one TikTok user said, and another wrote, "This is a whole videoed list of participants and accomplices." Yeah, it just doesn't look good for Oprah. Now, due to this being leaked, there have been claims that Oprah has fled the country. People have also said that the result of the presidential election has also affected Oprah's decision to leave the limelight. Kamala Harris had a lot of celebrities promote her and go to her rallies, and one celebrity who endorsed her was Oprah. But the Washington Examiner had reported that Oprah's media company, Harbo Productions, had received a fee from Harris's campaign for a star-studded live interview in September. Now the price tag, it was said that it was $1 million. Now this is just crazy and it has people upset at the Star. Why? Well, Harris's campaign sent out a bunch of messages to civilians asking for donations for the campaign, and fans are not happy that some of their money went to Oprah, who has a net worth of $3 billion. Yes, billion with a B. Now, you'd think Oprah would make an appearance out of the goodness of her heart, but oh no. One person on Twitter said, "Just embarrassing that anyone thought that Lady Gaga or Oprah were going to swing enough votes to justify this is insane." Someone else said, "All of this is so slimy and disgusting. At Oprah is so utterly repugnant." A third said, "Those performers should be ashamed of themselves. This is Trump-level grifting and is just one of many reasons you'll never see me donate a penny to a politician." Now, Oprah, though, has spoken out against this, saying, "Not true. I was paid nothing ever." Now, with this new information revealed, reports from the New York Times, citing 2 informed sources, revealed that Harbo Productions received nearly $2.5 million, rather than the previously estimated $1 million for the September town hall featuring Harris. It was then said that Oprah donated $150 million to the campaign, but that was false too. Nicole Nichols, a spokesperson for Oprah, told USA Today the show host had not donated to Harris's campaign. No donations to Harris from Oprah or her company Harbo Incorporated are listed on the Federal Election Commission website, a nonpartisan research group that tracks US political spending. Now, it's just a mess for Oprah right now, and this isn't the first controversy she's faced in recent years. This year, she's been called out for how she's spoken about losing weight and how she actually lost weight. Now, all throughout Oprah's career, she's been made fun of for her weight, and she ended up partnering with Weight Watchers, a weight loss plan company. Now, recently, Oprah lost a lot of weight, and she attributed it to Weight Watchers, but it was then revealed that she was lying. She finally revealed that she was using an unnamed weight loss medication, and that's how she was able to lose a lot of weight. So it wasn't the program that she had been promoting for all these years, which made a lot of people feel lied to. Now, a lot of people even claim that Oprah cheated with her weight loss. Then in 2024, Oprah decided to step down and stop working with Weight Watchers altogether. Many people are saying that she's a sellout and that everything she's ever stood for was a lie. While she did not specify the medication she's been taking, it's very likely that she's taking Ozempic or something Ozempic adjacent, which is all the craze with celebrities right now who are trying to lose weight. In 1988, she showed off her new slim figure by taking off an oversized coat and wheeling out a wagon holding 67 pounds of animal fat, the amount she had lost in less than 5 months. Now, this episode grew huge attention, earning the highest ratings in the show's history. However, years later, Oprah expressed regret about it, stating that it was simply an ego trip and admitting that she eventually regained all the weight. Now, Oprah is still receiving pushback from her Maui fund Oprah is also still receiving pushback from her Maui fund she created with The Rock after a bunch of wildfires hit Hawaii in August 2023. It caused a lot of devastation in the community, so Oprah and The Rock created a foundation where money would go right into the pockets of those who were affected. It was a good idea for sure, but the problem people had with it was that the 2 celebrities only donated $10 million, and then they posted online asking everyday people for help. Now, this made people angry for a couple of reasons, but the main one was the fact that Oprah did not donate that much. As mentioned before, Oprah is worth $3 billion. I mean, she could have given every resident $100,000 and barely see a dent in her bank account. Oprah has always been about giving back to the community, but to some people, it felt like she wasn't helping as much as she could. Then there was the fact that she was asking everyday people for donations when a lot of people are already going through financial struggles these days. Many people question why she wasn't asking her other wealthy celebrity friends to help, and I think these are all valid complaints, but Oprah ended up actually just making it worse for herself. All the online conversations, being slammed, lies, conspiracy theories really took the focus off what was the most important thing, and that was the people of Maui. Oprah and The Rock then thought about how they'd been giving to charity their whole lives and felt like starting with $10 million worked because it was enough to kick things off before opening the Maui Wildfires Fund up to people who wanted to help but didn't know how. Oprah said, "I was so excited about it. Then I got up the next morning and I saw all this vitriol and I was like, whoa, what happened here?" Yeah, now that honestly was not a good response at all. So with all this hate against Oprah, will she really leave Hollywood and the United States? I mean, she has the funds to do so, so what's to stop her? From her Diddy controversy to her lying to fans and being greedy, could this be the end? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Oprah might be determined to get the nitty-gritty truth out of everybody she talks to, but she might want to look into the mirror after all the lies she's told over the years. Rose McGowan called Oprah Winfrey as fake as they come in a scathing Twitter post over her friendship with scummy producers who I can't even name, they're that awful. We can't even show their face, so you're going to have to use context clues today, folks, if you don't already know the identity of the mystery producer that I'm currently trying to talk about without talking about. So Rose McGowan took to Twitter to speak out against the popular talk show host, sharing a photo of Oprah Winfrey kissing a disgraced Hollywood producer on the cheek, which I think was a photo taken at the 2014 Critics' Choice Movie Awards, so it's about 10 years old. Now Rose McGowan is an early Me Too activist who accused that particular producer of wrongdoing, and she accompanied the photo with the caption reading, "I am glad more are seeing the ugly truth of Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't. From being pals with," insert anonymous producer's name here, "to abandoning and destroying victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come. Hashtag lizard." Now the victims Rose was referring to are those of a hip-hop music mogul, but one who has been accused of more than a dozen cases of SA or misconduct since November of 2017. Now he responded by admitting inappropriate conduct in some cases, but has disputed the allegations of non-consensual related interactions. The legend of Oprah Winfrey as an extremely poor person growing up without a father, a mother that was too young who apparently, according to claims, carried Oprah with shame during pregnancy and then neglected her, spread when Oprah began giving interviews in Chicago. She would say, "Oh, they harmed me. I wanted to be white because I never saw white people being hurt." She remembered her early years in life as lonely. She didn't play with anybody except the pigs she rode without a saddle in her grandmother's garden. She said the only thing I could talk to were the animals in the farmyard. I read them Bible stories. And she said that she was so poor that her family couldn't afford a dog or a cat. She had 2 cockroaches as pets. She put them in a jar and named them Melinda and Sandy. She entertained her audience with stories about fetching water from the well, milking cows, emptying the drinking pot. This tale she spun, this horrible life. She told stories about her grandmother who swung a switch, her grandfather who swung a stick. Now these were the people who raised her for the formative years of life. She said, "Oh, how they harmed me. Once again, I wanted to be white because I never saw white people being harmed." She said her grandmother did this because it's an integral part of Southern tradition. This is the way old folks raised their family. You spill something, you meet the switch. You tell a story, you meet the switch. She said grandma could do this all day and never get tired. Now, not everybody in Oprah's family agreed with this desperate upbringing. Her mother, Vernita Lee, when asked about her daughter's abilities to self-dramatize her stories, said Oprah is a bit of a cold smoker. Now Oprah's sister also dispelled the myth of immense poverty. She said, "Of course we weren't rich, but Oprah exaggerated how bad it was for us. I guess the viewers would love her, the audience would grow. Cockroaches were never her pet. She always had a dog. She had a white cat. She had an eel in a tank. She had a parakeet named Bo Peep. She was trying to teach the parakeet how to speak." She said, "Where Oprah got that nonsense about growing up in filth and roaches, I have no idea." Now, that was a statement from her cousin, Catherine. She said, "I confronted her and asked, why do you tell such lies?" Oprah said, "That's what people want to hear. The truth is boring." Well, Oprah, I would like to hear some form of truth out of your mouth. So for many years on air, Oprah was portrayed as this wholesome person. She was like, "You get a gift, you get a gift, you get a car, you get a this, that, everything else." Turns out her stepmom has said otherwise for many years. According to Barbara, Oprah is one of the most controlling people you will ever meet. So when Barbara and family wanted to visit Oprah, Oprah was like, "No, you can't stay at my home. You gotta pay for your own hotel room. I'll come visit you maybe." Apparently Oprah was quick to anger when it came to her staff, with a lot of folks being fired left, right, everywhere all over the years. But here's the thing. So you know how I mentioned how Barbara's like, "Nope, no family can stay with me," even though Oprah's like a billionaire and owns ranches and this, that, and everything else? Well, I guess when Oprah goes to visit Barbara, which never really happens, but it does, she stays at Barbara's place, and when she stays over, she complains. She's like, "My bed sheets aren't 1,000 thread count, bath towels aren't big enough." Like, lady, you're a multi-billionaire. Why do you want to make your family feel like a burden? If you really care that much about things, go stay in some fancy schmancy hotel yourself. So Oprah's been called out for using weight loss medication, despite being like the longtime poster woman for Weight Watchers. Seriously. The branding is there. Now she has confirmed she's now using this unnamed substance to help her control her weight. In a very revealing chat, she said "Yeah, no, my new slim figure is thanks to this. And of course a healthier lifestyle overall." Kind of like how when superhero actors say, "Oh yeah, my lifestyle is because of broccoli and chicken." She's like, "Yeah, I now use it as I feel I need it, as a tool to manage not yo-yoing." She said the fact that there's a medically approved prescription for managing weight and staying healthier in my lifetime feels like relief, like redemption, like a gift, not something to hide behind and be ridiculed for. She said, "I'm absolutely done with the shaming from other people and particularly myself." But here's the thing. There's a number of fans, myself included, that feel like the billionaire philanthropist is being a bit hypocritical. Once again, she has been a proud spokesperson for Weight Watchers since 2017, and I feel like even before that she was praising Weight Watchers on her show. So a lot of fans have spoken out, and one person said, "What I don't like about Oprah is she is clearly off doing Ozempic, but yet she's still pushing Weight Watchers. And somebody else was like, okay, done with shaming but okay with lying? And a lot of folks called her out for letting people believe she did it the old-fashioned way, asking, why did you lie? Back in 2012, Oprah gushed for weeks about Microsoft's Surface tablet. She compared it to a Mercedes. She called it one of her favorite things of 2012. One day she went a step further. She tweeted out to her 14.8 million followers saying, love that Surface. She said she'd already bought 12 of them for Christmas presents. One teeny little problem. Oprah, or whoever managed her Twitter at the time, sent the tweets from an iPad, because it literally said like sent from my iPad or whatever. And the people of the internet, who never missed the opportunity to poke fun at an online little flub, took notice. To quote one expert, she does have legions of fans, making her an effective marketing channel for Microsoft, except for when the narrative around her promotion is tossed on its head by a foolish and utterly avoidable mistake. Surface ads, now brought to you by iPad. Come on, it's such a silly little mistake. Back in 2010, Monique won the Best Supporting Actress Academy Award for her performance in Precious, and sure, amazing, notable, love that. That's not our point today. After that, she was blackballed in the entertainment industry for almost a decade, if not more, at the hands of media moguls such as Oprah. And Oprah, was really shady about it. She's the same talk show host who had an interview with Monique's family just days after her big career accomplishment. Now, for most people that sounds like a great thing. Like, oh my gosh, yes, you won, let's get your family on to gush about you. But here's the little snafu in that logic, folks. Oprah sat down with Monique's older brother, Gerald, who harmed Monique while they were growing up. This was the first time he had admitted to his crimes. He confessed to being a victim of the same actions by other family members. And somebody said this online, and it's best said this way: Oprah needs to answer for this, because interviewing Monique's brother after her historic Oscar win, this doesn't make sense, and it looks bad for Oprah. Why would you want to do something so negative when you're celebrating something so amazing? Somebody else noted, Oprah definitely seems like she has a mean, cold side. I just wonder why she was so mean to Monique. And Monique said it herself. Oprah crossed her on so many different levels. She tried to reach out to Oprah to settle this, discuss it, but the efforts to communicate just weren't being returned. So, 3 years after that interview, Monique confronted Oprah at a celebration party for Lupita Nyong'o. And she said, and I quote, Oprah was sitting on my right. I turned to her and said, I need to talk to you. And apparently, this whole room went so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Monique said, since you didn't want to return my calls, for whatever reasons, I'm going to say this right here. And she asked, Oprah, why did you invite my family on the show when we literally were not talking at the time? And Oprah tried to play it off. She was like, oh, I had no idea your entire family was showing up. She's like, I didn't know anything about that. If I did anything to offend you, I apologize. I'm sorry. You're telling me this multi-billionaire didn't know something was gonna happen on her show? Sure.
We all know that Diddy has been exposed for doing some pretty terrible stuff, but it appears that Oprah is just as guilty as he is. Oprah is known to have been friends with Diddy. They were spotted together multiple times at parties, charity events, and Oprah even had Diddy on her talk show. They were both big and powerful people in Hollywood, but it appears that maybe they were using their power for bad. Not good. Recently, a source sent Page Six a VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to the mogul's 29th birthday in 1998. It's a combination of celebrities inviting you to Diddy's birthday party. Starting off the video, though, is Oprah, which stands out a lot. Other celebrities seen in the tape include Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Magic Johnson, Will Smith, Ben Stiller, Joan Rivers, Steven Tyler, and Tommy Hilfiger. It begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito is lying on a sofa under a blanket and says, "That's right, Puff Daddy is having a party, and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." Then the group of celebs take turns reading from a script detailing the time, date, exactly how fabulous and expensive the party will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. They say that the venue would be revealed later. Now, all those people in the video appear to be his really good friends, and how interesting it is that Oprah was a part of it. It was revealed that the invite is 6 minutes long, but only 1.5 minutes were released to the public. It has people questioning what else is on there and what's being hidden. Commenters, though, are shocked by the video. One person commented, "I think it's foul that not one person was staying away from him then, and supposedly they knew. No one was saying a word. Didn't he have some kind of big 4th of July party that anyone who was anyone would be at every year? Those people should be just as guilty, accomplices." While another person said, "It's crazy. Anyone I see here is suspect to me." Yeah, it's just not a good look and shows us that Oprah was closer to Diddy than maybe we had thought. Oprah herself has been caught in many scandals throughout her career, and one that really sticks out is her school that she created. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007. It was founded with $40 million of Oprah's money. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny McGobo of mistreating them. She was arrested in November 2007 and released on bail. She faced 14 different charges. It seems like she and the organization did not look into who they were hiring and how the operation was running on a daily basis. It's definitely very sad because this could have been prevented. Following the first trial, Oprah was then sued by the headmistress of the South African Girls' School for defamation. She alleged that Winfrey defamed her by implying she was covering up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled out of court before the arranged trial. That is not all that happened there though. In 2009, there was another scandal about mistreatment. 7 of their students were suspended for harassing their classmates. The New York Daily News also reported that the alleged perpetrators attempted to entice their classmates into lesbian relationships. A South African news outlet also revealed that one of the girls demanded that her victims lie to the police about what happened. There's been a lot of bad stuff happening there, and it seems like no one is really doing anything about it and is just letting it happen. Not to mention, parents also came forward with complaints about the school. In March 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their children once a month, and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on weekends. One parent said, quote, "It was a nightmare. We had only 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't a prison or an institution." Another mother said her homesick daughter was very upset over the rules. Quote, "Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her." There have also been rumors online that some girls from the school have gone missing. There hasn't been any concrete evidence of this, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me since there has been so many other shady things going on there too. People think that Oprah has been taking the students and doing God knows what to them. Shockingly, the school is still up and running, which is crazy considering all of the scandals that have happened. There's something fishy going on though, and more people have been starting to question it. Oprah has also been involved in more controversies lately, with people even reflecting on her past interviews and calling her out for her behavior. But Oprah isn't the only one who has interviews that haven't aged well. People have been digging up a lot of stuff about Diddy, and I mean, if people just paid attention to what he was saying in his interviews, we might have known sooner that he was up to no good. One of the most shocking revelations comes from an interview he did with Entertainment Tonight in 1999. He was talking about his parties and had this to say: "They won't even give me a permit for the parties. They don't want me to throw parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. They're going to be shutting them down. They're probably going to be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time." Yeah. Now the fact that he says they're probably going to arrest me is kind of crazy. In 2002, Diddy made an appearance on Late Night with Conan O'Brien. While there, he said some pretty concerning things. Conan asked him what makes a Diddy party so great, and Diddy goes on to list that you need beautiful ladies, beautiful men, booze, water, and locks on the doors. Yeah, one of those things is not like the others. Conan then interjected about the locks, asking if the parties were safe. Diddy then played it off as a joke, but with what we know now, there probably were locks on the doors, maybe so he could control his victims better. I feel with him saying this, it's so clear that some not so legal things happened at his parties. I mean, no normal party needs locks to keep the guests locked in. I think this is some pretty crazy evidence, and I mean, he just kind of tattled on himself. The problem is people think that this is just a joke, but he's been telling us the truth the whole time. And probably what's some of the most shocking evidence against him is how he answered this question. In 2017, Diddy was a guest on Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party, which was hosted by Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. In the resurfaced clip, the two hosts are seen playing a card game with their guests that consisted of various open-ended prompts. The Bad Boy founder reads, quote, "When I die, I want my last words to be," and he swiftly answers, quote, "I did it." It's giving O.J. Simpson. As he looks around the room, people laugh and clap, seemingly taking his response as a lighthearted joke. I did it? what? Now, what's crazy is at this point, Diddy had some accusations against him, but they were all brushed off or nobody believed the women at the time. To me though, this clip is a clear confession. He just told us that all the rumors about him were true, which, again, is insane. With this clip resurfacing, people are shocked by this too. "That's a confession," reads one of the most liked comments under the TikTok video. "This didn't age well," one person wrote, as another said, "Well, he did it alright." It's just weird all around, and if you look back, there were so many signs about how bad of a person Diddy was. I mean, he practically admitted it in public and no one listened. Now it appears the same thing is happening with Oprah as people have began to turn on the star. And let me just say, I wouldn't be shocked if we start learning about the skeletons in her closet real soon. Alright.
Oprah Winfrey is now caught up in all the Diddy drama. She's been spotted at multiple events with the disgraced rapper, and they even appear to have been great friends. Now, they attended multiple events together, and Diddy even appeared on her show. Now, the interview was just straight up weird, if we're being honest, but now leaked footage shows Oprah and many other star-studded celebrities inviting people to Diddy's 29th birthday party. Among Oprah is Chris Rock, Ellen DeGeneres, Ben Stiller, Stephen Baldwin, and Will Smith. With this video being leaked, a lot more celebrities are being accused of being in cahoots with Diddy. It's crazy, anyone I see here is a suspect to me, which I honestly gotta say I agree with. I think it's foul that not one person was staying away from him then, and supposedly they knew. No one was saying a word. Didn't he have some kind of big 4th of July party that anyone who was anyone would be at every year? Those people should be just as guilty, accomplices. Now, only a minute or so of the footage was released, but it said that the whole invite video is 6 minutes long. Now, will the other half of the video ever see the light of day? No one really knows, but maybe it exposes sensitive information that would make Diddy and other celebrities look bad. Regardless, it's very strange, and the fact that Oprah was a part of it is a big red flag. You see, Oprah has a pattern of being friends with rich and powerful men who end up being disgusting monsters who get arrested. Now, Diddy is just the most recent one. I wish she were real, but she isn't. Now, Rose isn't the only person to call Oprah out on this, as her former friend Seal made a post when Oprah said that we should focus on the bigger picture instead of Harvey's crimes and his victims. He said, "You have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." He said, "Oh, I forgot, that's right, you heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually doing those things to young starry-eyed actresses. My bad." Now, Snoop Dogg has also made multiple posts calling out the star. You know it's bad when other celebrities and her past friends are calling her out. Now, if she hangs out with them, then obviously she's one of them, right? I mean, it has people thinking that she's not as good of a person as she has claimed to be her entire life. You see, Oprah was born in Mississippi to a single teenage mother and grew up in extreme poverty. During her childhood, the cost of raising Oprah became too much for her mother to handle, so Oprah was sent to live with her biological father. Since then, Oprah has come forward talking about how she had been mistreated and taken advantage of by her cousin, uncle, and a family friend. As a young teenager, and after suffering for years, she then ran away from home, and a year later she became pregnant. She then gave birth to a son, but he was premature and passed away only a few weeks later. Oprah has used this story to show her strength and to inspire people, but it seems like she might have helped continue the cycle towards young girls, which is just so upsetting. Now, Diddy's parties have been exposed as being evil, and many crimes took place there. Multiple sources have said what happened before 2 a.m. pales in comparison to what happens at 5 a.m., said a first source. Now, a second source who helped get guests for Diddy's white parties between 2006 and 2011 similarly told Us Weekly that high-profile celebrities would leave around 2 or 3 a.m. because they knew the party was going to take a turn. Girls would start to lose their clothes, and that was the signal for people to leave, explained the source, adding that's when the substances would come out, with benders lasting until 7 a.m. Now, the New York Post reported that these parties often concealed freak-off sessions that devolved into explicit encounters after the main events. An unnamed Alabama woman claimed in a suit filed in New York that in the year 2000, She was invited to a Video Music Awards after party by an associate of Diddy. There, she was mistreated by Diddy while another male celebrity and female celebrity, neither of whom were named in the suit, watched until she was able to escape. Another, an unnamed male, accuser claimed to have been taken advantage of by Diddy at a party in 2022. The accuser alleged that Diddy offered him a drink and promised to help him launch his career. Now, besides being arrested for his crimes, Diddy has also faced other consequences. On Wednesday, October 30th, the decision was made during an in-person hearing where the city commission voted entirely to strip Diddy of the honor. Now, the key was initially awarded to Diddy in 2015 for his contributions to the music industry and his involvement with the Revolt Music Conference in Miami Beach. Amid his ongoing lawsuits back in June, city officials also rescinded October 13th as Sean Diddy Combs Day. Now, this marks the second time Diddy has been stripped of a ceremonial key. In June, he returned his key to the city of New York at the request of Mayor Eric Adams, following the resurgence of a 2016 video depicting him mistreating his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Diddy's trial is set for May 5th, 2025, but it appears that other celebrities involved in the crimes are trying to keep their name out of the news. Ray J, who was friends with Diddy, has spoken out about how some celebrities are paying off their victims when it comes to the freak-offs. Now, my question is, could Oprah be one of these celebrities? Just maybe. Ray J said, "I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their name out of it. Somebody has the truth, somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed." The interviewer, Harvey Levin, then pushed Ray J by asking if he knew anyone personally who had been offered money to stay quiet. The songwriter then replied, "Here's the other way around it, Harvey, I'll give you money, please don't talk." He then claimed the high-profile individuals are reaching out to him, alleging they want to talk to me about what happened to them, they call me, they feel like they can trust me. Now, Levin then asked if those contacting Ray J are high-profile celebrities who have an affiliation with Diddy. He responded, "Yes, that's exactly what I am saying. And I don't know why I said it, but I said it, so what? Now they're gonna be mad, come get me." Ray J then said, "I think I said too much." In the interview, he did not name any celebrities, but it still raised eyebrows. Now, Tony Busby, the attorney representing more than 120 alleged victims of Diddy, disclosed that he has sent out demand letters to celebrities, asking them to pay up or face the consequences. Tony had previously mentioned that investigations into Diddy's case had implicated several Hollywood big shots, but refrained from dropping any names. He's disclosed that he's now going after other celebrities who attended Diddy's freak-offs, even if they did nothing wrong. In a new appearance on TMZ's documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, Inside the Freak-Offs, Tony claims such big names are as guilty as those who perpetrated the crimes, explaining that their silence and unwillingness to stand against it makes them liable. So will Oprah have to pay up? I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens with this case, but it sure is crazy.
Oprah has been involved in some shady business over the years, and it's time for her to fess up. So during the big fires in Maui, residents fleeing the carnage of the flames were held up at the gates of Oprah's very large fenced property. So she wasn't staying at her vacation home at the time, and she did open those gates up upon learning of the tragedy, but residents felt a certain way knowing they had to contact authorities to get permission to cross onto the completely fenced private property just to get to the other side. Afterwards, Oprah teamed up with fellow Hollywood heavyweight Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to launch the People's Fund of Maui for residents with an initial donation of just $10 million. They said in a joint statement, "We've been meeting with the community leaders for the past couple of weeks, just trying to figure out what we can do." Now, this was a statement that came out in August of 2023, and then The Rock added, "In this time of need, you want to take care of the greatest need of the people, and that's giving them money. It's going to take a long time to rebuild, it'll probably get a little worse before it gets a little better, but we're here doing what we can do." Well, here's the thing. A lot of folks were wondering for a while, where did that money go? They weren't really seeing it. So back in August, there was a couple of tweets that went viral claiming that Oprah donated $150 million to a political campaign this year, saying almost a year ago, Oprah and The Rock faced backlash after asking struggling peasants to donate to the Maui Fund they launched to help wildfire victims. Now they committed to donating $10 million themselves, and over a year later, some victims of the fire remain unaccounted for, hundreds if not thousands of residents are still homeless, and the island has yet to be rebuilt. So obviously that post racked up a lot of views. We're talking like 2.3 million. And a lot of the replies were like, we have questions about Oprah's motive. So for starters, one person speculated that Oprah's real goal is to buy up Hawaii. Now, another Oprah critic declared Oprah is a fake and a fraud, and The Rock wasn't immune to the heat. He caught some when a lot of folks were like, oh yeah, he's a minion to the elite and a tool. I can't say how I feel about either of them on here. And somebody else added, so what happened to all that money people donated? And they went on to make some also interesting statements. Because the big controversy is how wealthy Americans have taken over large portions of Hawaiian real estate, even while Native Hawaiians struggle to even receive land promised to be returned to them from the US government. People are on a 40-year-old waiting list for a home that the US government stole from them. Like, I don't think that's right. Back in 2012, Oprah gushed for weeks about Microsoft's Surface tablet, which she compared to a Mercedes and named one of her favorite things of 2012. And if you know Oprah, her favorite things list is a big deal. Or it used to be. So one day she went a step further. She tweeted out to her like millions and millions of followers saying, love that Surface. And she went on to add that she'd already bought 12 of the devices for Christmas gifts. But there was one teensy-weensy little problem. Oprah, or whoever managed her Twitter account at the time, sent the tweet from an iPad. So obviously, the people of the internet, who never miss an opportunity to poke fun at Oprah, took notice. To quote one expert, she does have legions of fans, making her an effective marketing tool for Microsoft, except for when the narrative around her promotion is tossed on its head by a foolish and utterly avoidable mistake. Surface ads, not brought to you by iPad. Like, I get it, at the time Surface didn't have its own Twitter app. I know folks, it was a minute ago. But like, girl, Oprah paid a small fortune to Apple TV to buy back the rights to a documentary about her life. So Apple announced with great fanfare back in 2021 that Oscar-winning filmmaker Kevin McDonald will be directing the documentary about the talk show host turned media mogul. However, sources say that McDonald, who teamed up with Oprah's longtime producer, Lisa Esparmer, on the project, had clashed with the billionaire after he finished the film and has been on hold ever since. Direct quote, Kevin made the film but Oprah didn't like it and he refused to change it, and Oprah has paid back her fee to Apple. Now this is a well-placed Hollywood source who claimed this. Now while industry sources speculate that Oprah would have to pay back millions to get the rights to the documentary, somebody else was like, no. It was not in the seven figures. Here's the thing folks, Oprah's documentary is not the first high-profile release to be put on ice. Netflix's years in the making Prince documentary is being held hostage due to objections from his estate, and like, obviously, they care about how Prince is seen in the media, so like, Oprah cares about it too. Okay, look, I know confidentiality agreements are not uncommon in the world of Hollywood. Marvel will literally do all sorts of things if you even leak a little peep about something they don't want you to leak. Well, in Kitty Kelly's tell-all book about Oprah, the author mentioned that the confidentiality agreements from Oprah were a little harsh. Now, this was something any worker or any guest star had to sign. We're talking everybody. Like, let's say Tom Cruise was on the show. He had to sign it. Somebody who, like, was an assistant for Tom Cruise, you have to sign it. So, like, think of the hundreds and hundreds of people over the years that had to sign these. Well, one former employee, Elizabeth Cody, tried to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but it was stopped by the courts because she was still tied to the NDA she signed. The NDAs weren't just meant to be a way to keep all the show's secrets safe before they aired, but like obviously all of Oprah's secrets as well. According to Elizabeth, the document was signed by everybody in Oprah's life. Elizabeth felt she was in Oprah's pocket after she signed the paperwork, and she's not alone. Let's go back to 2010. So Unicus Performance Training filed a lawsuit against Oprah and her company because they claimed they never got paid for a workout program they were developing that kind of goes back to the NDA. So UPT said that they were fired for violating the terms of their confidentiality agreement after they sent out a mass email promoting their upcoming appearance on Oprah's radio show. So according to the confidentiality agreement, they weren't allowed to use Oprah's name, her company name, anything for any advertising or promotional purposes before they went on the show. Yeah, they were literally just promoting their appearance on the show, not leaking anything, and they got cut before it aired because they tried to promote it. Make that make sense? So look, you might think, oh, Oprah, she's this like wholesome sweet lady. Yeah, no. According to her stepmother, there's been like a very nasty side to Oprah for years. So according to Barbara, Oprah is one of the most controlling people you will ever meet. So let's just say Barbara's in town, she wants to go visit Oprah, she maybe wants to stay with Oprah. not gonna happen. Oprah said, nope, stay in a hotel, pay for it yourself, you can't stay with me. Apparently Oprah is quick to anger when it comes to her staff. A lot of folks have been fired left, right, center all over the years. But here's the thing. So let's say Oprah somehow decides to go visit Barbara. Barbara's like, yeah, okay, you can stay with me. But then Oprah's gonna complain. Apparently, the first time she stayed over, Oprah complained that her bed sheets weren't like 1,000 thread count, her bath towels weren't big enough. And like, I'm sorry, you need a reality check. Like, if you want that fancy service, go stay in a fancy hotel. Don't yell at your family because that's how they live. The legend of Oprah as this extremely poor person growing up without a father, having a mother who was too young, Oprah was apparently carried with shame during pregnancy and then neglected. All this began to spread when Oprah began giving interviews in Chicago, saying, oh, how they harmed me. I wanted to be white because I never saw white people being hurt. She told stories about her early years being lonely. She didn't play with anybody. She played with the pigs. She rode them. She hung out in her grandmother's garden. She talked about telling stories to the animals in the farmyard, like Bible stories. And apparently spending years with her mom were even worse, so we're not even going to talk about that. But she said like the family was so poor, they couldn't afford pets, no fancy dogs or cats, so she had 2 cockroaches. She put them in a jar, named them Melinda and Sandy. She told these stories to her audiences and they lapped it up. Like, oh, I fetched water from the well, I milked cows, I emptied the drinking pot. This like, you know, crazy fairy tale of a origin story. She talked about her grandmother who had a switch, her grandfather who had a stick, and if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And once again, going back to she wanted to be white because, oh, that didn't happen to white people. Her words, not mine. But here's the thing, not everybody in Oprah's family agreed with this desperate upbringing. When somebody asked her mom about it, they were like, Even Oprah's sister was like, absolutely not. Sure, we weren't rich, but like, she had pets. She had all sorts of pets. So, I don't know, girl.
If you haven't noticed lately, almost everyone has been hating on Oprah Winfrey. Why? Well, it has to do with past interviews, her beliefs, and her overall attitude. As we all know, the presidential election in the United States was last week, and Kamala Harris had a lot of celebrities promote her and go to her rallies. Now, one celebrity who endorsed her was Oprah, but the Washington Examiner had reported last week that Oprah's media company, Harpo Productions, had received a fee from Harris's campaign for the star-studded live interview in September. Now the price tag, $1 million. Now that is just crazy and it has people upset at the star. Well, Harris's campaign sent out a bunch of messages to civilians asking for donations for the campaign, and fans are not happy that some of their money went to Oprah, who has a net worth of $3 billion. Yes, billion with a B. Now you'd think Oprah would make an appearance out of the goodness of her heart, but no. One person on Twitter said, just embarrassing that anyone thought that Lady Gaga or Oprah were going to swing enough voters to justify this is insane. Someone else said all of it is so slimy and disgusting. At Oprah is so utterly repugnant. A third said those performers should be ashamed of themselves. This is Trump level grifting and is just one of many reasons you'll never see me donate a penny to a politician. Yeah, this is honestly just wrong. It was then said that Oprah donated $150 million to the campaign, but that was false too. Nicole Nichols, a spokesperson for Oprah, told USA Today the show has not donated to Harris's campaign. No donations to Harris from Oprah or her company Harpo Inc. are listed on the Federal Election Commission website or Open Secrets, a nonpartisan research group that tracks US political spending. Then there was the whole Maui Fund. Again, this has to do with money, and you would think with Oprah being a celebrity for so long, she would know how the world would perceive her with all of this, but I guess not. In early August 2023, a series of wildfires broke out in Hawaii, predominantly on the island of Maui. The wind-driven fires prompted evacuations and caused widespread damage, ending the lives of at least 102 people and leaving 2 people missing. Now, in light of the tragedy, Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson took to Instagram and TikTok, and in a video they introduced their new collaboration, the People's Fund of Maui. They said that their relief fund was intended to raise money for Maui residents families who had been affected by the tragedy. In the video, the pair cited Dolly Parton as an inspiration for their new venture. They claimed that because people were confused about how to help Maui residents, they sought to create a fund that would directly provide residents with relief. In the lengthy caption, the pair wrote, "We're honored to announce the People's Fund of Maui, a fund putting money directly into the pockets of those who were affected by the recent wildfires. As we have seen firsthand, the impacts of these wildfires have been devastating, and we're here to ensure with 100% guarantee that your donations will go directly into the hands of Lahaina residents." Now, after this was launched, people started questioning why celebs were asking everyday people to donate instead of their celebrity friends or even them just funding it themselves. Again, Oprah has a net worth of $3 billion. Now people started calling them out on social media, and instead of taking this critique, Oprah hit back and made things worse. All the online conversations being slammed, the lies, conspiracy theories really took the focus off of what was the most important thing, and that was the people of Maui, Oprah said on a CBS Mornings appearance. "I was on the ground talking to a lot of people, trying to figure out how do I best help." Oprah and The Rock thought about how they had both given to charity their whole lives and felt like starting with a $10 million donation worked because it was enough to kick things off before opening the Maui wildfires funds up to people who wanted to help but didn't know how. "I was so excited about it, then I got up the next morning and I saw all this vitriol and I was like, whoa, what happened here?" she said. But yeah, people were angry, which I don't blame them for, because honestly, what the heck. Then there's the whole thing with her weight. Throughout her career, Oprah has always been made fun of for her weight. "It was a public sport to make fun of me for 25 years. I have been blamed and shamed, and I blamed and shamed myself," she said. Now, one controversial moment regarding her weight loss was in 1988, when she unveiled her new slim figure by taking off an oversized coat and wheeling out a wagon holding 67 pounds of animal fat, the amount she had lost in less than 5 months. Now, the episode drew huge attention, earning the highest ratings in the show's history. However, years later, Oprah expressed regret about it, saying that it was simply an ego trip and admitting that she eventually regained all the weight. Now, Oprah was also a brand ambassador for the brand Weight Watchers. Now, Weight Watchers was already controversial for its weight loss program, but Oprah stood by it, always promoting it. Things took a turn though in 2023 after it was said that she was using an unnamed weight loss drug, and that's how she was able to lose a lot of weight. So it wasn't the program that she had been promoting for all those years, which made a lot of people feel lied to, and they say that Oprah cheated with her weight loss. Then in 2024, Oprah decided to step down and stop working with Weight Watchers altogether. Many people are saying that she's a sellout and that everything she ever stood for was a lie. And hey, I can't blame people for getting upset over this. It's very likely that she's taking Ozempic or something Ozempic adjacent, which is all the craze with celebrities right now who are trying to lose weight. I understand why people are so upset about this, as Oprah claimed for years that a specific weight loss program was working for her, but it was all due to medication. And then there's the fact that she's had certain guests on her show who people believe shouldn't have had a platform. Oprah made Dr. Oz famous as she made him a regular guest, promoted his books, and endorsed his advice on her show. As the Washington Post reported though, Oz provided a platform for potentially dangerous projects and fringe viewpoints aimed at millions of viewers, according to medical experts, public health organizations, and federal health guidance. Now, less than 1/3 of what he says on his show can be backed up by even the modest medical evidence, and nearly 4 in 10 of the assertions made on the show appear to be made on the basis of no evidence at all, which is not good at all. Now, with Oprah helping launch his career, he has hurt a lot of people with his fake medical advice. Now, someone else who's in the same situation is psychologist Phil McGraw, aka Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil first came on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1998 and soon began appearing in a regular Tuesday segment to offer relationship and life strategy advice. In 2002, he launched his own syndicated daytime talk show, Dr. Phil, a spin-off of his segments on Oprah's show, which was produced by her Harbo Productions. It has been exposed that Dr. Phil is not a real doctor anymore, and that what he does to help people doesn't actually help, it just exploits them. He's been accused of sending teens to horrible facilities to quote-unquote help them, as wilderness programs, also known as the troubled teen industry, are places that are designed to provide participants with a series of physically challenging outdoor activities designed to prevent or reduce delinquent behavior. And let me say, Dr. Phil has often sent young teens from his show to a wilderness camp called Turnabout Ranch. Now, many former students of these places who call themselves survivors have begun to create online communities to support one another and speak out on their horrific experiences, claiming that they suffered mistreatment at these camps and were left with PTSD, some even taking their own lives afterwards. Still, with all this evidence, Dr. Phil still sends people there. If Oprah had not made Dr. Phil famous, so many people's lives could have been saved, as it appears he's done more harm than good.